right now? Okay. I'm Peter Ricci with CelebNMusic247. Is it ready to go now?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So how's it going, Nicole?
It's going great. Thank you, Peter. How about you?
It's actually awesome. It's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So how is the courtship? How was it? How was the whole Jane Austen type of feel? Like, what was it like?
It was very fun. I mean, you can probably tell that I'm enjoying myself quite a bit on TV. It was something unlike anything I've ever done. I've never done reality TV before. I sure haven't lived in a castle before. And I've never dated multiple guys at once. So it was all out of my comfort zone, but I feel like it was a very, very memorable once in a lifetime experience.
That's awesome. So going to like your first day and when you're meeting the guys, what was your first impression? Like, did you know, okay, those two over there are the ones I like? Like, did you know who you like right off the bat?
I feel like you can always kind of get a sense right away um, as to who you're most attracted to or who you vibe with the best or have that connection. So there were definitely, I would say, probably two or three guys that I was like, okay, I feel confident that we'll make it pretty far together.
Mhm.
And then there were obviously some that I didn't feel that spark or I just felt like we weren't compatible. And, I ended up sending three home that first night. And I really just had to trust my gut and sort of go off of that first impression from night one.
Right. And you're there with your court. So you've got your mom, your dad, your best friend, and your sister. So did they help you decide which three guys? Because I know you're already to episode 10 and we're like getting down to it. And I'm like, I was watching it last night and I was like, oh my God, like curious which one it's going to be. But, like that first day, like, do they help you guide and go, okay, yeah, I agree. Let's get rid of him.
You know what? They gave me their opinion of the guys regardless of where I was standing, right? So let's say, they didn't feel like they liked one of the guys, they would let me know. They'd be like, I don't think you two would be compatible, XYZ, but they never were like, you have to, let this guy go or you have to keep this guy. It was very much so just like guidance and support, and then you make your decision.
Okay, that's cool. And you like the whole fact that like going back to like having nothing, like no phone, no social apps, like isn't that the better way to date?
I mean, I love it because I'm not somebody that ever has their phone on them. Actually, quite frequently, my friends are like, it takes Nicole 3 to 5 business days to reply to anything because I just never have my phone on me. I hate, I just hate feeling like, you know, every part of your life has to involve technology. And I really like to just put away the phone and like just live in the moment and be. And so this experience was like made for me because I absolutely adore the fact that I didn't have to be around it. But then it also allowed, all of us that were a part of the process to really just lean into it and think about relationships that we wanted to create, as opposed to thinking about what they would look like on social media or something like that.
Right. And then you had the costumes, like how was it? Did you have to wear the corsets and all that, like the full everything?
Yeah, most of my costumes did have a corset. It was very cool to see, how women back then dressed. I have a lot of respect and props because it wasn't always comfortable. But clearly there were some modern updates like zippers and that sort of thing. But I felt like an absolute princess every day, being able to dress up like that and have a new, dress for every ball. It just was so fun and exciting.
That's kind of cool. So I have a question. So you meet these guys, they're dressed up in their costumes and stuff. Do you feel like that you really get a sense of who they are, even though they're not dressing their norm?
That's a good point. And that's actually funny you brought that up because I always say, I love when you go on a first date, you can really see somebody's personality based off of what they're wearing, right?
Right.
And for these guys, they kind of all had that level playing field. It was almost like being in school again with a uniform. So it allowed me to just see them for who they are, which I appreciated. But at the same time, I'm like, how do these guys take care of themselves in the normal life? They're not
Yeah.
having their hair and makeup done every day, and they're not having like, ironed, laundered clothing every day. Like I know some of these guys probably are a little bit, less put together, and that's okay. But I at least want to know because I think it really just paints a picture of what it would look like to be with them.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like what I was thinking about, like when I was watching the show, is like, did you think like when this is over, is it going to be the same because of all the the fairy tale imagery and that's all kind of gone? Do you think it's going to be like it's going to be different, or it's going to be enhanced, or it's going to be better? What do you think?
That's a really good point. And I worried about that through the process because of course I'm in this fantasy fairy tale and loving it and living every part of it. But I had to be very cognizant of the fact that things could be different in the real world when you involve technology, when you involve, work and friends and their family and my family together. But what I kept reminding myself was if I'm developing a really deep connection, it really should transcend, you know, time, space, and where I'm at and everything like that. So I'm just, I really just tried to lean into the process and just pray that it worked out the way it was meant to, right?
Right. So, so where we are in the courtship, is there somebody that is the one, like you can already tell?
Well, I mean, of course, I can't exactly say that. But
I was
I'm
trying.
like, this is sneaky, okay? Um, no, I think it's clear that I have developed like real connections with these final four guys. And that's exciting, but it's also scary because, we're getting down to it. And at this point in the process, I really wanted to see who could envision life with me and who could, see marrying me and making some kind of commitment at the end of this. And I really had to be open to the possibility that, it may not end in an engagement, or it may end in an engagement, and I have no clue. But, the feelings were real at this point, and that's what made it so exciting but scary at the same time.
How was your family at this point?
They were, bless them, they were always just so concerned about me. They really were. They were always very concerned about me and just wanted to make sure that I was okay mentally and emotionally. Like, as you can see, this process was not easy for me. It was very emotional. And,
Right.
because real feelings were involved, I felt, responsible when I had to send somebody home, and I felt, bad for ending a journey with somebody. But I had to trust and follow my heart, and that really drained me quite a bit. So they were mostly just like, we want to make sure you're okay. But they were also very excited to think, this is somebody that we could be inviting into our family, and that could be at Thanksgiving dinner next year. Like all of that
Right.
was really exciting to them too.
Oh, that's cool. So out of the four, who's the better kisser?
Oh God.
I had to slip
That's
that one in.
funny. I'm like, you're funny. You're funny. You know what? All great guys. They're all great.
Okay, does one of them have a better style or swag?
I think so. You know what? I would say, oh, that's tough. I'd say for different reasons. For example, I would say Mr. Bokikio has that New York swag that is just, very forget about it. Like, I don't know.
Right.
And I would say that, Jesse kind of has that like small town, like innocence, but that like they each have their own thing going for them. Okay. I
Right.
feel like you're trying to get out of me who ends up winning. I'm like, how do I answer this without giving it away? No, they all have their own thing going for them. And I think it's, Lincoln and his van thing, he's that nomad. And then Christian is just like the big teddy bear. Like they each have their thing going for them.
Right. So you like something about each of them. So it's making the decision hard. And then it's always like a breakup every time, which always makes
Yeah,
things hard.
it is. Yeah. I mean, I essentially break up with what, potentially 18 guys throughout the season. That's not
Yeah.
easy to do.
It's kind of overload.
It is.
Okay, you won't give me anything away. What would you say you took out of this whole experience for yourself? Like, did you feel like you grew and you're like a whole nother person now, or do you think you've learned so many little different things about yourself of what not to do and change? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Does
Yeah,
that
I
make
feel
sense on
like,
that?
yeah, I mean, what if it's really just about what I learned out of the experience? I feel like I learned that I'm a lot stronger than, I thought I was. This, like I said, this experience was not easy. It was very emotional and it was real, and there were real feelings. But I feel like I gained so much respect for myself and so much love for myself for being able to, stick to my feelings in that moment and move forward with, the decisions that I made and feel confident about them. And that's, that's not easy to do when you're on camera and it's going to be televised. But I was just really proud of myself for continuing to just be me and not let anything else get in the way.
That makes sense. So I know I'm probably at my last question. What's next for you? Like, you can't give away who it is, and you can't give away like anything, but like, what would be next? Like, what's the next thing you would like to do, or the next chapter?
The next chapter, I mean, if it's as exciting as this past chapter has been, then I'm in for a treat, that's for sure.
Right.
I definitely want to take some time to travel again. Living in the UK for that amount of time, I got such a travel bug in me, and I'm excited to hit the road and, maybe go camping or go to a different country or just do something fun. And just kind of explore life and see what else it has to offer, because my eyes are just open to so much after having this experience.
Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. You look beautiful today. I meant to tell you that earlier.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. I'm sorry I couldn't give you more information. I know you wanted to.
I know, I wanted it, and I was like, I just got to ask a couple questions, but you're like, no, no, no. It's all good. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and good luck with everything. The courtship is awesome, and I've been really enjoying it. So I kind of wait, because the next episode's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow,
So,
I know. Wednesdays come so soon. They really do. But thank you, Peter.
You're welcome. All right, Nicole, thank you so much.
Thank you.